Hey everyone, it's Dani. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you guys some books I recently purchased. As we're nearing the end of the year, I really wanted to find some really cool books to read. I feel like I just haven't been reading too much this past year, truthfully. I was a huge book nerd. I've always been that way. Kind of wanted to dive back in and read some of my favorite authors that recently came out with some new books this year, which is super exciting. The holidays are also coming up and I wanted to see what books would be great to give people for gifts. We're like at the beginning of November, so I think I still have enough time to read all of these and kind of make a decision and see which ones I want to give. Some of them are from some of my favorite authors. So the first book that I picked up is Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. I'm a huge Sally Rooney fan. I read Normal People like 5 times and I've seen the show probably way too many times. If you don't know Sally Rooney, I think she's mainly known for Normal People and Conversations with Friends. If you guys haven't seen or heard Normal People, it is a book she wrote that got adapted into a TV show on Hulu. It stars Daisy Edgar Jones and Paul Mescal. Marianne is played by Daisy Edgar Jones and Connell is played by Paul Mescal. And they come from different backgrounds. Connell's mom is a maid and actually cleans Marianne's home. That's kind of how they started seeing each other. It's set in Ireland, follows the two of them as they grow up from high school to college. I thought it was really relatable. I think I was going through something pretty similar. As you read the book, not only is it so endearing, I don't know, I think when you're young, you don't really know how to communicate. She has a really good way of taking some people's ordinary lives and really romanticizing them. And she's just like a really good storyteller. When Normal People came out, I was either in college or just recently had gotten out of college. I think that's what it was. I saw the show during the pandemic and I was kind of going through something very similar as the characters were, you know, being young and just not being able to like articulate your feelings and communicate. I needed like a little bit of like a romance novel. This one is a cool one, Intermezzo by Sally Rooney is the 4th book. It was published September 24th, so that was about a couple months ago. And the novel is about 2 brothers and their lovers, and it explores themes related to grief and age gap relationships. So I'm really excited about this one. I could not put Normal People down when I first read the book, so I'm excited to read this one. Anyone asks me for a recommendation in that YA space or that new adult space, I always recommend Normal People first, and I always just recommend Sally Rooney overall. So I'm really excited about this book. Okay, another book I'm really excited about. This is Table for Two by Amor Towles. Did I say his name right? Oh.
Amor Towles.
I was almost close. Amor Towles, right? Towles. Table for Two by Amor Towles. I think if you've heard of his novel before, you might have heard of A Gentleman in Moscow, and that was adapted into a Netflix series. For some reason, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. That is definitely on my list, but I do know he is an incredible novelist, and I know so many people that are huge fans of his, so I'm really excited about this one. He writes a lot of books that are period books, so they might not be present day, but they are set in the past. Table for Two is a set of 6 different short stories, and they're based both in New York and in the golden age of Hollywood. So Table for Two is a collection of 6 short stories and a novella by the novelist Amor Towles. It was published back earlier this year, April 2024, so it did come out earlier this year. The book is divided into 2 parts, with the 6 short stories connected to the New York City, and the novella is set in Los Angeles. This is a really fun one, and I do think that he writes a lot of set in Hollywood. There's Eve in Hollywood. Amor is one of those authors that has a lot of awesome books set in settings that I really gravitate towards. I'm really excited to dive into this book. I think it'll be really fun. I don't think you can ever go wrong with an Amor book. So I'm a huge Western fan. I've been a Western fan since I was a little girl. Some of my favorite movies are Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Tombstone. I love what they call neo-westerns, which are contemporary westerns or set in present day. Fun show is like Yellowstone. I love Beth Dutton. I think she's one of my favorite characters of all time. She is so inherently flawed and such a formidable character. She has so much love for her father, even though she hates the ranch. It is so fun to watch her on screen. I think it's probably one of my favorite pilots ever as well, and I've seen the pilot maybe 5 or 6 times. Every time someone says that they haven't seen the show, I always throw it on because it's just such a fun show to watch. And it's one of those shows that you don't think you're gonna get hooked, and then you easily get hooked. So I wanted to find a really romantic Western. Picked up Majestys Rancho. I think I understand this new wave of like being an independent woman, but sometimes it's just like this idea of getting swept off your feet by a cowboy. Just sounds really fun to me. Maybe not in real life, but you know, reading them is just as fun. So I guess I can live vicariously through these characters. So this was actually originally published in 1938. So here's the premise. After Lance Sidway comes to beautiful Marge Stewart's defense and ends up on the wrong side of the law, he escapes to Arizona and finds work on her father's ranch. Madge is kidnapped by a gang of cattle rustlers, and Sidway must intervene once again to save her life, even at the cost of his own. I don't know why, but that sounds very romantic to me. I just picked it up because I thought it sounded cool. I just wanted to read a good romance set in the Wild Wild West. I'm excited to read this one. I wanted to also check out some nonfiction books as well. The book that I found is A Spy in Plain Sight. This is about Robert Hansen and how he was basically sharing a bunch of American secrets to Russian intelligence. I'm excited about this one. I don't know too much about this author, truthfully, so we'll see how this one pans out. Last but certainly not least, I am a huge Harry Potter fan, and I picked up this book. I think this is the first book I picked up, and my mom and I were so excited. This is the official Harry Potter cookbook. It looks so freaking awesome. If you don't know anything about me, I love the Harry Potter series. I remember I was not allowed to read the books in elementary school, and I would literally hide from my teacher. We had this little section where there was a bookshelf that cornered the room. So it was bookshelf, and then there was one kind of right in the middle. So in theory, if you like lay down, you wouldn't be able to see anyone. So every single time during quiet time, I would always like grab a Harry Potter book and like lay down in between the two bookshelves so no one could see me. Obviously, people probably saw me, but for me, I was just little and I was kind of in my own little world of Harry Potter, and it was the best time ever. And I remember everyone was so excited because at the time when I was reading those books, I think I was in like 3rd or 4th grade. Not all of the books had come out yet. This was when Goosebumps and the Magic Treehouse books were like poppin'. Everyone was reading them. And then of course this is before social media, so people were really reading them. I just remembered I was reading Magic Treehouse. There's one where they go back in time to a kingdom. And I remember this so vividly. There's a scene where the kids are sitting around all of the royals. I remember reading this as a kid and I felt like I was there with them. And that's when I really got hooked into reading, was just feeling like I was part of their world. So when I started reading The Sorcerer's Stone, I was like, what the heck is this world? Like, this is so cool. And I fell in love with Harry Potter. So I got this book, the original Harry Potter cookbook, and I think that honestly all ages will love this book. There are so many cool recipes. The reason why I love this book so much is that none of the recipes are complicated. I think because it's, you know, for maybe younger kiddos, but not only are the recipes so unique, they're so fun to make and they're so creative. What's cool about this book is you can do some snacks, there's some meals, there's recipes for desserts and treats, there's recipes for drinks. A fun snack is the Quidditchos. The Quidditchos looks really good. They're just Quidditch nachos basically. There's these really cool cheesy parcel mouth pastries, which this is the recipe I'm most excited about that I'm probably gonna do later tonight. But the Goblet of Fire chili dip, it looks so freaking good. Just have really cool creative ways and unique recipes that are easy for anyone to make. They're not super complicated. So not only will you find recipes that you can actually make and it's not just some random cookbook that you have, but it also has this really fun Harry Potter themes. This is a really fun gift for all ages, and I think it'll be a really fun gift for the holidays. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.